The sounds of jazz will soon be music to our ears in Madison. The Madison Jazz Festival is back this summer. The Wisconsin Union Theater will host free performances at the Terrace the weekend of June 26th through the 27th. Some of those headliners include Nate Smith, a great jazz drummer, and Wycliffe Gordon. Organizers say this year's season represents the history of the music and where the future of the genre is going.
I think something that I'm really excited about is just the diversity in artists and messages and what they represent in terms of like the artistic landscape, not just in the United States, but also abroad and internationally.
Starting this fall, the Wisconsin Union Theater will also host a classical series and jazz series as part of this new season.